But people don't understand that. They see the gurus out there and they see stuff on social media and yes, multi is a stepping stone. If you're looking at investing, the first thing you're gonna do is do wholesaling. Wholesaling is not investing. That's a transactional business. Okay. Then you're gonna get into possibly being a landlord. Landlord is okay. Now you're starting to invest because now you got some depreciation, you got appreciation, you got principal pay down, you got hopefully cash flow coming out of it. Okay, so now you're really starting to invest. But what's the next level? How can you make more money? Going into lease options. Lease options is your next step. And then from there, be in the bank. And what I do is if I don't take the properties down, I offer them up to my group and I'll coach them through everything to take it down. So Anthony found this deal. Um, I usually don't buy two bedrooms. Okay, and it's a two-bedroom unit. It's $106,000 that they're assuming the underlying note. It's about $125,000, $130,000 house, so it's got a little equity in it, $20,000 worth of equity maybe. With that, the rental rate that we see in our programs that we use was a little low. Didn't like that, and I said, let's do a pre-marketing. So we do a pre-marketing that one of his colleagues does. So she'll put it out and just test the market and see how many hits we get. And we put it out at a lot higher price. Now, the neat thing about what I do also is rental rate is here. Because it's a lease with an option to purchase, you can usually get another $150 to $200 over that. Okay, so we put it out here and we got a lot of hits. There's like 16 hits on 4th of July weekend, which is unheard of. So I went, yeah, that's a deal. So, but I'd already offered it up. I said, okay, somebody wants it. Anthony gets first choice since he brought it in, so he gets first choice. If he doesn't want it, then anybody else can take it down. I said, after the pre-marketing, it's worth it. Let's do an inspection. So then we get an inspector out there. We found a couple little issues, not major, little issues. And I said, well, let's go to the city. Let's make sure the city, signs off on it and says it's grandfathered in. If they are, you're good to go. So he's already got that thing rented, lease optioned out. He hasn't even closed on it yet. Okay. In this particular case, because it was so quick, um, he is only paying the seller $1,000 plus closing costs. Plus, he has to pay the house a little bit just to cover my expenses of all the marketing and so forth that he got it from. So he'll be into that house for basically $6,500, maybe $6,000 total. And he's bringing in a private money investor for that $6,000. And he's actually going to get $10,000 from his private money investor. So he has a little slush fund cushion. Okay. But he already has it rented. So he's already in the game. So, and the option fee, he came to me. So we do what they call the option fee assistance program. So I think he was asking 10 grand or 12 grand option fee on this particular house. They didn't have all of it. Sometimes we'll do $5,000 and then let them make payments on the other 5 or 15 or whatever it is until it's paid in full. He had a renter that wanted it, but they only had 3,500 down. And I went, okay, because you've only got truly 66,000 or 6,500, you got 50% of your money back already, dude. You're already in the plus, okay? And then they're going to make payments on it from there on out. And the other thing is, even though he hasn't closed on it, he'll get money in his pocket before he closes, and he doesn't have a gap in having it vacant to have to make a mortgage payment. So he's already ahead of the game. So why not take 35 and run with it and see what happens? Okay. The whole idea behind lease options is to have skin in the game. Okay. You want your tenants to have skin in the game. Well, where this particular house is, $3,500 is probably a lot of money to somebody. Okay. 5,000 is definitely a lot of money to somebody, and most people don't have $10,000 or $20,000 laying around to walk into a house. So we get that option fee coming in, and it's just extra cash flow to us. Plus, we're able to rent it. I think the rental rate was $900. I think he's renting it for $1,249 or something like that. So he jumped it a substantial amount. And with the option fee payment and the rent payment, it'll cash flow a little over $800 a month for him. Bummer. With zero money out of his pocket. That's the key. Zero money out of his pocket.
So how he got 10K from the private money lender and then he gets the option fee of 3,500. Do you typically pay the private money lender back at 30?
Nope. Just leave it because That 10 grand he got from his private money lender of whatever interest rate he's paying
Yeah.
still makes that property cash flow. Money is worth more today than it is tomorrow.
Right.
Put that $3,500 with your slush fund of the extra money that's sitting over here. So he'll have about $7,000 sitting in a savings account. If something ever happened, he's got that money sitting there. Doesn't have to worry about it. Maybe it goes vacant. He's got a month or two he has to pay. He's got the money sitting there until he gets another option fee in, and then he can replenish that slush fund. And he's still taking no money out of his pocket to do that. Nothing.
Right.
And I said, take the $800, go live on it. But leave that slush fund around. Build that up to about 10 grand, let it sit. Okay? How many how many multi-units are you going to have to make $800 a month? 8 units?
Yeah.
6 units?
Yeah.
So when I did, and I don't know if I said this already, but when we got to that $174,000 or $175,000 on a fourplex, it didn't cash flow after that. And you can't even buy a fourplex for $175,000 right now. They're wanting 200 and 300, if that. We were at what is that, 60 some $1,000 a door or something like that. No, that's even too high. 50. No, we were 40 some $1,000 a door when we were buying. Yeah.
I caught you before you did.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. But people don't understand that. They see the gurus out there and they see stuff on social media, and yes, multi is a stepping stone. If you're looking at investing, the first thing you're going to do is do wholesaling. Wholesaling is not investing. That's a transactional business. Okay. Then you're going to get into possibly being a landlord. Landlord is okay. Now you're starting to invest because now you got some depreciation, you got appreciation, you got principal pay down, you got hopefully cash flow coming out of it. Okay, so now you're really starting to invest. But what's the next level? How can you make more money? Going into lease options. Lease options is your next step. And then from there, be in the bank. Okay. And these guys hear me say it all the time. I don't believe being wealthy is having a shitload of money. Being wealthy is having a shitload of your time back. And being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it with your family, friends, and so forth. That's your time. So what I teach with being known as a mailbox guy is getting that monthly cash flow coming in. What's your monthly nut? Is it 5 grand a month, 10 grand a month? If you're making $500 a door, how many doors do you have to cover your nut? Once your nut's covered, now you're wealthy. You don't have to work. Okay? And then if you want to go buy a car, go buy another house. Let that payment there pay for your car payment. Okay? And that's rich dad, poor dad stuff right there. So that's all it is. And that's all I do.